Hello and welcome. This is NXT back in the Hammerstein Ballroom after a few weeks hiatus from this very historic building. We of course know the fate of NXT still. That will not stop this roster from putting on the best shows that it can on its way to NXT Takeover the end. And speaking of a takeover itself, our main event is a match that we were supposed to get a takeover between Tye Dillinger and EC3, finally locking horns this evening. A bit of an inspirational message there from Logan Wayne as we get going on this evening with NXT action. And first off, the power of love will arrive to the Hammerstein Ballroom. Mike Kanellis in action to start things off, and he will be going one-on-one against the new NXT Global Champion, the Stone Pitbull, Tomohiro Ishii. Mike may well be full of spirit right now as he walks to the ring with his wife Maria, but I fear as if that is going to be quickly taken out of him when he finds himself in the ring, of course, with the Stone Pitbull himself. Kanellis, still one of the longest reigning champions in this universe. I think he comes in just outside the top 5 with his reign as ECW champion, although in all fairness that was now 3 years ago. It has been a steep fall for Kanellis in that time, but upon his return from injury recently on NXT, he's been putting together a few more wins, and of course he'll be looking to do everything that he can to follow up on the claim they made, and the claim that I can, of course, as the general manager of ECW, revealed to be true, that if a man or a woman or whomever it may be ends up on NXT Takeover the end, champion, challenger, whatever it is, they will be signed to a main roster contract. I already know there's going to be room I'm going to have to make on ECW for NXT candidates making their way up, at the very least, from those who make it onto NXT Takeover the end. That will be coming a day before the finale to the series, of course, at the No Way Out pay-per-view, but as for right now, it is the Stone Pitbull coming towards the ring. Ishii making his way out this evening. Had a stellar contest, one that I would probably argue was match of the night at NXT Takeover Brooklyn with Hideo Itami, but he left with that NXT Global Championship around his waist. Itami thought, and people thought, that Itami was going to take it, that he was going to hold on to that Global Championship over Ishii. The Stone Pitbull in do it all, but Itami threw at him, kicked out of the go to sleep, hit the vertical drop brainbuster, and with 1, 2, 3, we had a new NXT Global Champion to walk into the Hammerstein Ballroom for the very first time with gold around his waist. Ishii not only picking up his first takeover win on that night, but of course picking up his first title in this universe as well. Bell rings, and we get underway here between Kanellis and Ishii. Kanellis has been through some hard fights during his tenure in this universe, and he's in for another one here this evening as he locks himself in that ring with Ishii. Yes, plenty of action, a couple here tonight, plenty of talents who we saw at NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and of course, who we saw from the fallout of Brooklyn as well, a lot of the show that aired after NXT Takeover Brooklyn. Seeing L.I.J here tonight as well, and of course that main event between Dillinger and EC3, the match we were supposed to get at NXT Takeover Brooklyn, and of course the match that ended up being replaced at the last moment with EC3 having MJF take his place in that contest. MJF, of course, quickly defeating Tye Dillinger on that evening. Now though, no way out for EC3 in this one. He's got to get in that ring and he's got to face off with Dillinger. So we'll see how that one will go forward. But right now, Tomohiro Ishii making life hard for Mike Kanellis, who comes in though with a big boot in response. Kanellis looking to put things together here. He's the taller of the two in this contest, and he's looking to do all that he can to ensure a victory for himself, for his wife Maria, and for their future here within this company. Nice Kanellis effect there, connected onto the second rope. Now he stands looking for a big opportunity. Oh, drop kick from the second rope. Ishii goes down. Kanellis in control here. Or maybe I spoke too soon, because there's a forearm and a step up enziguri from Ishii to knock Kanellis off his feet. Buckle now. Ishii striking hard with that lariat, as he always does with any lariat he can connect with. There's no pulling back your shots from Ishii. He's all in with them. Tiger suplex connects now. Things going from bad to worse here for Kanellis. Armbar locked in by Ishii, crossing the legs over as well. Makes it that much harder for Kanellis to slip his way out of this hold. Can he find his way out of it here? Can he slip his way out? Yes, he can. I don't think that because of Kanellis' recent form, this is going to be a walkover win for Ishii. Remember, like I said, he is a long-reigning ECW champion in the past. He's a former Mr. Money in the Bank, former ECW Tag Team champion as well. Kanellis has done plenty within this universe, but as I said, it is a long time ago. Ishii stacking him up with that power bomb. Will that do it? Kick out at two from Kanellis. Man, he's having to survive some brutal hits in this one from Ishii. Crowd counting up to 5. There's Ishii puts on a show with those headbutts. Kanellis going to be feeling the effects of those ones, no doubt. There's a left-handed lariat from Ishii. Gave himself enough of a run-up, but when it connected, he had enough force to take the head off of a bull. Look at this now, big cannon made there by Kanellis. Rolls up Ishii here, looking to put him away. Could it be a shock upset? No. Good sense of flip counter there by Kanellis, but not enough to put away Ishii here. Still trying to fight on. Still trying to fight this upset if possible. Look out now. Side dumping. Brainbuster. What a move from Kanellis. Has that done enough to put away Ishii? Has he beaten the champion? Oh, he came close. Ishii with the shoulders up at 2. Kanellis thought he had him right then and there. Close but no cigar for him. Ishii comes up with a counter there though. Uh-oh. Beginning of the end for Kanellis. Vertical drop. Brain buster. It ended in Tommy of Brooklyn. And you better believe that it'll end Kanellis tonight. Tomohiro Ishii gets his reign off with a win. Congrats to him on that one. Starting strong as NXT Global Champion. Kanellis gave him a fight as we expected, but not enough to put away the Stone Pitbull. Ishii getting his reign off with just the win that he would want. Tested, he always loves to be, but victorious. He loves to be even more. Ishii, your winner as we get things going here on NXT. Talk about guys who are on the rebound episode of NXT coming out of NXT Takeover Brooklyn. One of them will be Jonathan Gresham, who's in action here tonight against Gran Metalik. Kalisto, of course, who has been on quite a bit of a winning streak as of late. Will be standing at ringside alongside his tag team partner here to maybe spur him on and give him a hope and opportunity he can leave with the victory. Gresham, of course, was defeated by Elias via roll-up, and I talked about on commentary about how frustrated Gresham must have been to let a defeat like that slip through his fingers. Apparently I was correct as well about it, because backstage, after that loss to Elias, Gresham was frustrated, kicking production crates, just really down in the dumps following the defeat. Now he's looking to rebound here tonight, and he's taking on a good opponent for him to try and do that against Gran Metalik. That's no disrespect to Metalik. What I mean by a good opponent is that Metalik's going to test Gresham. It's going to be another different fight here for Gresham. A very submission-orientated wrestler, obviously, is the Octopus. He has to get in that ring against Gran Metalik, who will be looking to fly all around him in order to pick up the win. So it's really going to be a test here to see what can be pulled out of the bag by Jonathan Gresham. How he can bounce back from that unfortunate defeat, shall we say, to Elias that we saw last week in the Barclays Center. Being said, Gresham ready to go here this evening. Nice new look for him as well. Look to the attire that we saw last week. He's always mixing things up, it would seem. Can he overcome that defeat from last week with a victory here tonight, however, and maybe, just maybe, have his eyes set on a future date with Elias, we can try and turn things around and turn that loss into a vengeful victory. We will find out right now, though. Calling about tie up here with Gran Metalik. There should be, where Gresham gets a one-up on Metalik. Go behind there, hammerlock of his own here, stitched in by Metalik. Nice calling about tight wrestling here. Metalik, the taller of the two. Interesting considering, of course, he is also the more agile of the two as well. Gresham, though, taking the early advantage, wrenching that arm back, and coming in with a flying forearm. Coming in hot on Metalik with that one, as he gets going now, as he gets fired up in the early stages. See what he can do right here, right now. Looks for a strike, swatted away. Metalik looks for a chop, couldn't find it. Comes in with the strike the moment after. Nice back suplex there, connects and takes down Jonathan Gresham on the apron. Now springboard, looks for the drop kick and back in the ring. Great counter. Samoan drop follows up from Jonathan Gresham. The Octopus starting things off a little bit strong here, getting in some nice offense as well. Gran Metalik looking to do the same hard chop there. Looked like he smacked him in the side of the head with it, the way Gresham fell to the mat there. Got him in. Poison Rana! God, what a devastating move that can be, no matter who connects with it. Covers made here by Metalik, and he almost finished off Gresham there. Gresham's starting to fight back here. Great strength, Gorilla press gut buster. Gresham the smaller of the two, but they way around the same as one another, and Gresham really showing that that is the case. Dragon suplex. No, it's countered. Counter made there by Metalik, who comes in with a drop kick as well. Now tope onto the back of Gresham there. He was turning around. Metalik came down on him, and he felt the pain of that as well. Back on back is a very painful landing. Gran Metalik able to stay focused, able to stay in the zone. Code Red connects, looking to put away Gresham here. Another very early kick out, maybe from how delayed he was following up after that tope. Look at the speed now. Round the world he goes before getting the head scissors. Gran Metalik working with speed. Good counter there though by Gresham in the moment. Plays it safe, hits a suplex to look to regain control and confidence in this matchup now. Front face lock, got him. Oh, look out here. Has the legs locked, almost like a reverse figure four stitched in here. Metalik close to the ropes, but Gresham is keeping those legs stitched in and making sure that Metalik just can't go that half a foot maybe that he needs to make the ropes, but he slips his way out of it there, slipping through the grasp of Gresham. Really nice submission and really good job of trying to take away the speed of Metalik as well, who comes in with another tilt-a-will head scissors. Both guys are impressing me thus far, which of course is very necessary if they want to have a future in this universe, especially considering both of them could fit into the Cruiserweight division quite nicely on ECW. Another poison rana from Metalik. Back elbow that was countered. Kick in the chest there from Jonathan Gresham. And here we go now. Abdominal stretch. This led to the beginning of the end for him last week against Elias. Metalik in the ropes this time though, to get out of that submission hold. Gresham just, I think, trying to talk to himself for a moment. They're trying to keep himself calm, cool and composed after what happened last week for him, of course. Look out now, dropped a knee down there on the inner thigh, really. And then wrenching the leg and hurting on the knee and the shin of Metalik, and of course the ankle. Metalik right away able to fight back here. Damage being done from both men. Hard chop in the chest from Metalik, who looks to connect with some offense of his own right now. Looking maybe to try and put the win together. Counter made there by Gresham. Kicks in the gut, and that'll be the lead-in to the Octopus hold. Octopus hold applied by Gresham on Metalik. Can he slip his way out of it? No, he cannot. It's a tap out. Jonathan Gresham leaves with a victory. Able to rebound from his loss to Elias. That was important for Gresham that he got that done, and he did so in the Hammerstein Ballroom. Good performance from Metalik, but in the end, not enough to hold off Jonathan Gresham. Victory it is for the Octopus. Maybe a victory that could see him getting a hopeful revenge opportunity at Elias. As for right now, though, someone out for revenge is going to be none other than the Queen of Spades herself. Shayna Baszler dominated at Brooklyn. There's no other word for it. In her contest with NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai, she dominated the contest. That match went almost 10 minutes, I believe, and for easily about 8.5 minutes of it, Shayna Baszler was dominating. She had Io Shirai every single time. Io Shirai was trying to break out all of her big moves. She went for the moonsault, stopped it. Suplex de Io, 2 count. Shayna Baszler did everything to win the title, except win the title. Surprising as ever, Io Shirai able to fight her way out of the Ace of Spades clutch, flip over, and while Baszler still had it locked around the jaw of Io Shirai, keep her clutched in long enough to get a 3 count and retain her title. I said it at Brooklyn, Shirai did not really win, she survived Shayna Baszler to hold on to that NXT Women's Championship. Baszler, by all means, and I say this as a fan of both women, Baszler should be NXT Women's Champion. Io Shirai's cunning versatility in that ring kept her in it. And just before she faded, she retained. And now she has to try and fight back here. Does Shayna Baszler. She has to prove to everyone that she should be champion. That win essentially by Io Shirai was nothing more than down to luck and nothing else for Shirai. Let's see if that'll happen right now. Mickie James in for one incredibly rough evening. Let's not get mistaken by that at all here, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to be a nice evening for Mickie James. She is going to be thrown around here. She is going to be hurt by one pissed off Shayna Baszler, who's slinging away here with shots onto Mickie James and is just throwing her around as she sees fit. There is certainly no love lost for any opponent who ends up in the ring with Shayna Baszler. I certainly do not envy anyone who ends up in the ring with Shayna Baszler either, because it is going to be an evening that you would want to forget as soon as possible, but you'll not, because the bruises and the bumps that you will feel, you'll be feeling them for a few more days after. No offense in this from Mickie James so far, and it's no surprise. Shayna Baszler simply isn't interested in letting her get any. She just wants to win and get out of here. She has no time for anyone other than herself. She wants that title from Io Shirai. Look out now. Mickie James is hoping to get some offense in, but it's quickly gone. Superplex! Shayna Baszler with an almighty superplex there on Mickie James. And it's not going to get any easier for her either. Baszler in here. Gut-wrench suplex. Hangs on. Floats over into yet another one. The end is quickly approaching for Mickie James. If I was her, I'd tap as soon as this hold was locked in, just to put it all away. The Ace of Spades clutch is locked in. There it is, middle of the ring. Mickie James taps out. No surprise. Shayna Baszler would have loved if that was the arm of Io Shirai tapping on it at Brooklyn. It's not the case. It doesn't change the fact, it doesn't change the sights for Shayna Baszler. The same as always. The NXT Women's Championship, taking that belt away from Io Shirai, getting her revenge from Brooklyn. Speaking again about revenge from Brooklyn, it's going to look to be a rebound contest here. At least they'll look to make it a rebound contest. Will L.I.J, Evil and Sanada losing a Takeover Brooklyn, albeit in extremely controversial circumstances. That, of course, coming from what we saw at ringside with Bret Hart distracting the referee. Noam Dar coming in and low-blowing Evil from behind to get the roll-up win on him and retain the titles. People were stunned by the move from the New Foundation to win the belts, to retain the belts the way they did at Brooklyn, but it happened and the arena almost went into a riot following Evil and Sanada's defeat. And don't get me, I mean, it's absolutely an underhanded method to win it, and I would not have expected that from the New Foundation in so many ways. They were typically a confident team. They did like to run their mouth quite a bit, but I would have never imagined them going to that level to try and pick up a victory, especially in a title match. Now, L.I.J in action here this evening. Tough team for them to go up against as well in the Street Profits, who have been finding their footing in NXT quite quickly, in all fairness. Recent wins for them, including over the likes of the Usos. They'll be looking to continue that going here against NXT's hottest team right now on the roster, that's for certain. There is a lot of hype behind L.I.J even after their defeat to the New Foundation, and I think a lot of desire as well to see them getting another chance at those titles, because much in the same way Bret, Shayna, Baszler, they could have been champions. And here we go now. Out they come this evening. Hammerstein Ballroom getting their first glimpse of them. Evil on the right, Sanada on the left, making up the duo no one has Los Ingobernables de Japón, aka Tetsuya Naito and Hiromu Takahashi's favorite wrestlers. But getting the band back together, of course, of those two men on ECW. These are those pieces that they need to put that band back together. To the ring right now, though, they make their way out here. And they're looking to get back with a win here over Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. It'll definitely be easier said than done if you had to ask me. I think the Street Profits are going to test them here in more ways than one. It's going to be good for L.I.J because they will get to exert their frustrations that would have been built up in the almost now month it has been since we saw them defeated at NXT Takeover Brooklyn. It's not been a good period of time either for Evil and Sanada, just frustrated about that loss, I would imagine, day in and day out. They may well like to play themselves off as cool, as nonchalant really, but to lose that match in the way that they did, it must eat away at them, especially after going through all the teams that they did in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic to claim that victory, to claim that title shot, to have it all slip away from them because of one low blow that the referee didn't catch. It's got to eat away at you. It's got to just got to frustrate you like there's no tomorrow, really. Oh, good God, and you can hear how frustrating it is right off the get-go there from that slap, that chop in the chest from Evil. Firing away with them on Angelo Dawkins here. Headlock punch in the corner, returning the one that Dawkins got on in a moment ago. Reverse sidewalk slam into a cover. Evil, no playing mood. You can see the frustrations already showing and shining off of L.I.J this early on in the contest. In the corner, tag made, in comes the Cold Skull Sanada. Double axe handle off the ropes, and Sanada going right to work as well on Dawkins. Just I can imagine how much more impact and effect is put into these shots after Takeover Brooklyn. Dawkins then moves out of the way. He realizes for the Street Profits what an opportunity this would be for them to claim a victory over the former #1 contenders, over the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Imagine how much that would jump them up the rankings. And of course, with what Logan Wayne said earlier on this evening about guys getting an opportunity if they make themselves onto NXT Takeover the end, the Street Profits will be looking to do everything they can to be the ones next in line for the shot at the tag team titles. Montez Ford into the cover here after a great double team move there by the Street Profits. Sanada gets the shoulder up at 2. That was really good there by the Profits, I have to say. Look out here, Montez Ford coming in with a big slam down on Cold Skull. Sanada feeling the impact of that one there. Things looking good with Montez Ford in the ring here for the Street Profits. Sanada struggling to find an opening here. Wonder if there's any doubts or worriment or concern going through the mind of Evil and Sanada following up, of course, from their defeat. Is there a lack of confidence issue in L.I.J, I wonder? Oh, spinning splash there from Montez Ford on Sanada. There's Cold Skull swinging back. Hard shot there. Connecting on Ford. Sends it in the corner. Tag is made. Evil back in here. Kick right in the gut from him as well. And now half and half suplex on Ford as Evil comes into the ring now. Well, Ford comes up with the counter there. Good Irish reversal. Tag will be made. In comes Angelo Dawkins. Not yet, it seems. Oh, Ford frustrating Evil there. Mistake made. Oh, using his own momentum against him. And then Dawkins coming down in the back of Evil. Covers made here to put him away. Looked for the big win and not that far away from it. Dawkins needs to stay on the offense right now. Evil cannot get in the swing of things, really struggling in this moment, it would seem. Nope, there's the fight out of it there by Evil. Overhand punch there, trying to smartly take him out of his own corner maybe. Brings him back in, gets that neck breaker. And maybe return things to a more neutral ground or a more L.I.J favored ground here in this ring. Good counter from Dawkins. What a DDT there, got all of that one. Off the ropes now comes Evil, quick hip toss. Dawkins doing really well right now, holding himself, holding his own here in the ring against Evil here. And like I said, maybe there is a confidence issue in L.I.J because they're not performing as well as they have. Especially as we saw them sometimes in the Dusty. But there we go, huge high knee there from Evil. Looking to bring him in now and plant him down with Darkness Falls. Stacks him up as well. Will this be victory? Oh, 2.5 off Darkness Falls. Evil could end it one way or the other here. Dawkins in trouble, and it will be ended one way, not the other. Tag made it to Cold Skull, and they will look to seal it here. Magic Killer connects. Sanada covers Dawkins. Evil stays in the ring, and it's victory for L.I.J. Rebounding from Takeover. A necessary win as well. Street Profits tested them, no doubt about it. But in the end, it wasn't enough to prevent the L.I.J win. Evil and Sanada victorious here this evening as they look to set their sights once again on those tag team titles. And this time, not in the name just of being champions, but in the vein of revenge against the New Foundation. Well, folks, I can announce right now, here on this edition of NXT, coming up next week, we will see the new NXT champion, The Miz, in the Hammerstein Ballroom. But coming up right now, it is your main event of the evening. Tye Dillinger and EC3 to lock horns here tonight. Match we were supposed to get at Brooklyn comes our way right now. The fallout from Perfect has arrived. Tye Dillinger has been waiting for this opportunity now for even longer than he would have originally wanted. He was ready for Takeover. He had dreams of beating EC3 and the whole Barclays Arena, chanting 10 as he did so, and that was all taken away from him in just the blink of an eye by the actions of EC3, who made his way out as far really as the end of the stage before saying to Tye Dillinger he wasn't the one who was going to finish him off. It was going to be MJF. Maxwell Jacob Friedman made his way out and finished off Dillinger in a few minutes. Dillinger wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared. He hadn't been focusing to face Friedman. He had been focused to face EC3. All of a sudden, it was gone. That chance to pull that off was gone. And it was all about taking on an opponent who he had never seen before. Being in the ring with someone who he had never, ever shared the ring with. An opponent who he had never probably even studied the tape of.
I am in the top 1%.
That comes to an end here tonight. He doesn't have to worry about MJF in the ring, though I can imagine you'll have to worry about him at ringside, and indeed he will, because you see him in the background as there is the 1%er himself, EC3. EC3, of course, always going to have a boatload of confidence wherever he goes, and especially now with MJF accompanying him to the ring. We saw on the fallout from TakeOver Brooklyn what he had to say to Tye Dillinger, saying it was an honor to finish him off and that Perfect was reborn with Dillinger out of it and MJF in it. EC3 coming towards the ring right now, though, as confident as ever, as exuberant as ever, singing along to his own theme song as he eyes up Tye Dillinger for a moment. EC3 just exuding confidence wherever he goes and as ready as ever to claim victory, especially over a guy like Tye Dillinger. He has the chance now, not only for the actions of MJF to stand out even more, not only for his to back up his own words, but to really just shove Tye Dillinger down, not only a peg or two, but several. To put him out of eyesight, essentially, for good. That's what EC3 gets to do here in this main event, just to silence any more conversation about EC3 and Dillinger in the same ring as one another, about EC3 and Dillinger in the same sentence as one another. He just gets to throw that all away here tonight with victory. But as confident as EC3 may well be, and I'm sure he's going to exude so much of it in this contest, remember, Dillinger wants this bad. Bell rings and we are underway here, and instantly EC3 jaw-jacking. Dillinger comes in though with a running knee. He's in no playing mood. He has waited for this. He waited for it at Brooklyn and it was taken away from him. And now tonight he finally gets his hands on him. Right away, exploding out of the gates after EC3 pummeling away here. Oh good God, this is not going to be, this is, well, in all fairness, EC3 asked for this, if you ask me. He asked for this. He is the cause of his own problems right now. If Dillinger is able to walk out with a huge victory over him, Dillinger just doing everything he can out of the gates to get a one-up on EC3. Kicking the gut here, looking to bring him in. Big neck breaker on EC3. MJF watching on at ringside, but right now, not at all best pleased, I imagine, with the performance of EC3. Now here we go, the 1%er returning back with shots of his own right away. Dillinger stumbling up against the ropes. EC3 will look to take advantage, dumping and body first down on the ropes, and look at that. MJF wasting little time getting involved here, sliding a chair into the ring for EC3 to try to use to his advantage here. Another big running knee there though. EC3 sliding out of the ring briefly to try and recover. Goes right after Dillinger with a hard forearm there. Look out now, big slam incoming. No, Dillinger puts the stop on it there. Gets a reverse DDT that plants EC3 down on the mat there. Dillinger has started much stronger in this contest, it has to be said, than EC3. Oh, what a DDT reversal though from EC3. Chair in hand. MJF knew what he had to do. Referee distracted. EC3, no! Not going to get the use of it. Dillinger sends the chair shot into his own skull. Fireman's carry slam after it. Dillinger covers EC3 for the chance of a huge win. Oh, kick out at 2. Dillinger can't believe it. Using the chair against EC3 there. It wasn't enough to bring in victory. Oh, what a jumping takedown there, essentially. by EC3. The referee going to do his job right now, sliding the chair out of the ring. Good call. Face first, oh, and throat first. Into the ropes went Dillinger. Devastating impact. In the corner now, EC3 with the splash. And look out now, locking the arms here, locking them back, and wrenching on that neck. What a submission hold this one is from EC3 here. That is just torture, punishment for Dillinger, but he slips his way out of the hold. EC3 though still continuing his control here in this contest, still continuing to do all that he can, but Dillinger still fighting back as well. Double atomic drop connects there. Dillinger still keeping things going here. Rolls out of the ring though, does EC3, but look at that, Dillinger right away, as if to say, you aren't getting away from me, you aren't running away from me this time. Going to the outside right after him. EC3 though comes up with a counter, hoists Dillinger up in his arms here. Oh, this isn't going to be good. Down on top of that steel barricade. Ribs first goes EC3. Oh, that is... can feel that pain as EC3 returns to the ring in control right now. Front face lock, STO takes Dillinger down. And is there a sense now that this could be the beginning of the end for Tye Dillinger here? No, wait, he fights out of it. He slips his way out of that hold. Hard shot bites of EC3's chest again. These two guys have not been letting anything back on one another. And you can tell it from how hard they're hitting as well, how much they want to hit one another. Knee into the chest. And guillotine leg drop as well. Dillinger bringing EC3's throat down with that second rope. Cover's made. 2 count though on EC3. What are we going to see now? Is he thinking perfect 10? Is he thinking perfect 10? If he was, the counter was made. And EC3 with an old version of a 1%er. Headlock driver from EC3. That could do it. That could finish off Tye Dillinger right here and now. 2.5 off of that one. Dillinger just barely getting the shoulder up in time. Oh, look at that, Dillinger right up to his feet. He ain't staying down. Incredible to see it. EC3 exuding confidence in the moment. Dillinger taking it away from him. And now he goes to the corner. And he will pull the knee down. He will pull the knee cover down to connect with a tiebreaker down on the exposed knee. Oh, but look, MJF getting involved. Distracting Dillinger now, jaw-jacking with him, and it's EC3 from behind. Roll up on Dillinger. Oh, Dillinger just gets the shoulder up in time. Just kicks out in time. Not enough just yet. The distraction from MJF, just not enough. Huge exploder though from EC3. And he has him. He has Dillinger where he wants him. Headlock, front face lock, STO. And he will go in the corner to finish off Dillinger once and for all. There's the running knee onto the shoulders. 1%er. He got all of it. EC3 wins. Victorious in the main event. Victorious over Dillinger. Silenced once and for all. The talk of perfect can come to an end. EC3 finishes Tye Dillinger tonight in the Hammerstein Ballroom. Dillinger desired victory over EC3. He craved it, but he didn't get it. EC3 victorious and proving that you can't spell perfect without EC3.